I'm Mike Bowers. I'm talking pictures this morning with Chief Photographer for Fairfax Media, Andrew Mears. Welcome to the new paradigm.
Thanks, Mike.
It's the age of Aquarius. I'm feeling the love everywhere.
It's strange.
Unfortunately, the cartoonists still think that the new paradigm is the same old paradigm, really, just dressed up differently. David Rowe's done this wonderful Let the Games Begin. Welcome to the 43rd Parliament, and it's looking like a bit of a fight over here.
Those cartoonists, that malevolent bunch, they can just grab an idea from here, link it to there, and they've got something wonderful.
It's a lot harder to do with a camera. Mark Knight sees it as a kind of gentle Parliament. Instead of putting the booty in, the PM sinks the Peter Slipper into the opposition leader. It was a very colourful opening. They had what was called a welcome to country ceremony at the front on the forecourt. And even Tony Abbott, who'd kind of bagged out the whole thing earlier, seemed to get on board with it. But it made for some wonderful pictures.
And obviously with Ken Wyatt's looming presence there, it had added significance.
Yeah.
And again, gave us an opportunity beyond those green benches to show our Parliament.
Really colourful, Ken Wyatt, the new member for Hasluck, he wore his kangaroo skins in, and it was quite a moving moment in there. And the whole juxtaposition of what he was dressed in, and here's a new member, John Alexander, behind, who's former sports star, and they all wore sort of colourful Aboriginal ties. Really strong visuals.
Yeah, it's one of those moments that, you do transcend that, adversarial politics, and people stop and listen.
It's going to be colourful because the independents, apart from holding the balance of power, they're a very colourful mob, a lot of them.
Yeah, and they like a little bit of attention, I would hazard a guess.
Julia seems to have not really worn anything but white since the election. Have you seen her in any other colour since the...
Well, I'd hate to comment. Look at me, I can't comment on fashion.
Yeah, I know. When she's sitting in the parliamentary chair, it's actually floodlighting from underneath a bit, and it's a more flattering light. And I just wonder whether they went to that level of thought.
All I know is she wore polka dots on day 2 of the campaign, and we never saw them again.
Andrew, we were all looking for the visuals that sort of showed the story of the relationship between Kevin, who's now, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, and Julie, who's now the leader. It sort of felt like visual dyslexia a couple of times because they're in the wrong spots.
Look, I think they'd like us to all move on, but it's something we've watched with intense interest, and we would look at them, no eye contact, or see them brush past each other.
Kevin does sometimes seem to have a sort of a really far-off stare. This wonderful picture that Ray Strange took, he just stands out. It looks like he's in another place and time almost.
I love this picture. I'm intensely jealous of it, but it's often how the simple pictures speak volumes. And here, the way the light has fallen, the body language of everyone, but most importantly, the Foreign Minister.
Yeah.
You get I was somewhat critical of his camera presence and the way he dealt with photographers as Prime Minister, but I think this picture shows he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help noticing a stranger in the house this week by the name of Mike Bowers?
He's a hack, Andrew. I love it because it's really the two members from Western Australia with the bookends of fashion. Ken Wyatt with his ceremonial kangaroo robe, and Julie Bishop with her ceremonial power suit.
Shoulder pads and regal red.
Sometimes, Andrew, the camera can sort of tell a few fibs. I mean, this was when they were waiting for the other chamber to come in, but he certainly did look forlorn and lonely sitting there with all his mates. The theatre of Parliament is never more vividly on display than when they're doing some of the protocols that extend back many hundreds of years, and the election of the Speaker is one of those, isn't it?
You couldn't help but think that maybe this time Harry was actually resisting being dragged into that chair.
Andrew, I think the new paradigm is going to really suit you and your lens, and we look forward a great deal to seeing your work in this 43rd Parliament.
Thanks, Mike. We're going to have a ball.
Back to you, Barry.